Good evening. My name is Ms. Dominique Jones, and I have been in education for several years. My path has allowed me to deal with students who come from many different backgrounds, speak different languages, and who have different cultural backgrounds that sometimes get overlooked in education. When I think about English learners, I think about what they already possess and what I can bring to them in order to help them build and be as successful as possible. I think about their culture, their language, family dynamics, and the skills and knowledge they already possess. Today, we will discuss how we honor those things in the classroom. First, we're going to discuss culturally responsive teaching. When I think about cultural influence and cultural competence, I think about how students react to authority, if they feel comfortable enough to express themselves, the dynamics they display when they are talking, and how well they are able to follow instructions. It is very important that we learn our students and their cultural backgrounds so that we can better understand them and know how to navigate education for them. I had a student who was always very, very quiet, minimal to no eye contact, and never really spoke until he was spoken to. I was intentional about digging deeper into learning this student. In doing so, I found that in his culture, he was not allowed to speak until spoken to, which explained why he was always so quiet and not the one to really initiate conversation or to raise his hand. It threw me off at first because I just assumed he didn't want to participate and engage in classroom lessons. But when I got a clear understanding, I understood that that was in his culture and that's what he was used to. Cultural competence is so important because it pushes you to go beyond the surface to learn, gain clarity, and adjust accordingly. This is really important when dealing with English language learners. It helps us to meet them where they are instead of assuming things about them. In my classroom, I try to incorporate student experiences in content, a space where they can make real-life connections and learn at the same time. Moments like this help to strengthen connections between instruction and the experience they may have at home or in their culture. I feel this helps them to better engage in lessons and not feel left out. When I think about the role of culture and inclusive environments, I feel that when students are included, engaged, or feel that they are, you'll receive the best results. Over the years, this is something that I've noticed, and it has allowed students to be more open and engaged. Oftentimes in my current classroom, we do turn-in talks, and in doing this, it is rewarding to see students who are included and in a safe space open up to their peers and have engaging dialogue. Especially when they are able to use their native language, see their culture included, it makes a big difference. I have seen this allow students to go from low confidence to high confidence. It is important to make sure that your classroom environment is safe and inclusive. This allows students to be okay with messing up, making mistakes, accepting feedback, and making changes. Make sure to always find positive reinforcements and celebrate small victories because we want all of our students to win. When I think about strategies and supporting cultural diversity, making sure I celebrate all students is so important to me. I know a lot of times we focus on special holidays and cultural celebrations, but it is also important to celebrate educational milestones. I always try to push my EL students to keep their traditions and cultures alive and incorporate them into our lessons. That might look like providing bilingual support, allowing students to complete projects from their culture that connects to the lesson, allowing students to start in their native language first to better help them understand, and being intentional about who I paired them with to gain the best results. Every milestone or small win matters in my classroom. When I think about supporting the needs of ELs in the classroom, I think about differentiation and responsiveness. Although there may be multiple EL learners in the classroom, they are not the same and all have their individual strengths and weaknesses. Some are highly talkative and ready to learn, while others may be super shy and afraid to speak. One thing that's helped me with this is scaffolding, which allows me to provide temporary support. Other supports that are good are modeling so they can see what I mean and how to do it first before they do it. Providing anchor charts so they can see it in front of them, and simply paying close attention to each student so I can see where the gap is and how to close it. Having routines that are consistent is a good support. It allows the student to experience familiarity, be more comfortable engaging and building their confidence, and I believe it is important to work on building their confidence. Coming into a classroom when you are outnumbered and the majority excuse me, and the majority of your peers speak another language can be very fearful and intimidating. I strive to always create a safe, nurturing, and inviting space where they can feel free to be themselves, make mistakes, and use their voice. Other support that comes into play and can be used is working with other teammates. You don't have to feel like you're all alone. I collaborate with administrators, other teachers, ESL teachers, SPED teachers, and their families. Together, we can make a difference. When I think about social and emotional needs, I want every child to feel comfortable. Trying to learn a new language fluently, fit in, engage, and talk is a lot. It takes a lot of courage to do it because it causes the student to come out of their comfort zone and step into unfamiliar territory. That's a struggle for many adults, so I can only imagine the struggle for students, especially EL learners. In order to kind of combat this, I feel that it is important to make sure all children feel safe, included, and comfortable. One thing that has helped me with this is keeping consistent procedures and routines. This helps students get comfortable with knowing what is going on and what the expectations are for different things. Sometimes the most simple adjustments can make the biggest impact. Go the extra mile and see the best results. When you talk about homeschooling connections, home and school connections, our students might have a different native language. However, they have many experiences that we can learn from. It is important to build rapport and connections with the family in order to achieve the best results for the child. We want to meet the needs of the child in totality, learn the home life in regards to culture and skills, and allow the student to express those things through turn and talks, whole group discussions, projects, and more. Although their language is important, understanding who they truly are is just as important. Family and community engagement. Building healthy relationships with families is so important. Although it may be challenging due to language barriers, it's still something that is very important. Making sure you have a strong communication system is a necessity. Making the necessary adjustments to accommodate the family so they feel included is important, and we want to make sure that they always feel that they are a part. You can use phone translators to help the communication if it's needed. In our school, we communicate a lot through Dean's List, so making sure they're able to understand the information being given is important. They say it takes a village to raise a child. It is important to build a community and provide opportunities for families to be involved. Making sure they are included and are aware of family nights, school activities, after-school programs, and that they have resources available to them through several different avenues. We want to make sure that we are partners working together for a common goal. As I close, I want you to remember one thing: all students matter. The way we view and look at things matter. English learners are a vital part of our educational journey, and we need to make sure that they too feel seen, that they feel heard, and that they feel safe and included. We must do the work to ensure that they have a successful educational experience. EL students are already amazing, but we must pull out the strong points and skills and build from there. They deserve to be exactly who they are without being left out. English learner students matter. Thank you.